There's a photograph that exists in a private collection in rural Kentucky. It was taken in 1973. In it, 27 people stand in front of a white clapboard church. They're all smiling. They're all related. And according to the genealogist who first examined their family tree, they're all descended from the same two people who married in 1841. But here's what makes your skin crawl. Between 1841 and 1973, that family tree doesn't branch outward the way human genetics intended. It folds inward. Again, and again, and again. For 10 consecutive generations, cousins married cousins, sometimes first cousins, sometimes second. The line between family reunion and wedding ceremony blurred so completely that by the 6th generation, the children being born didn't just share a bloodline. They shared the same genetic code repeated over and over, like a photocopier running out of ink. This isn't a story about royalty or ancient Egypt. This is America. This is Appalachia. And what happened in those hollows, tucked away from the census takers and the social workers, defied everything we thought we knew about human biology, because those children should not have survived. The science says they shouldn't have made it past infancy, but they did. And the reason why is more disturbing than you can imagine. Hello everyone. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with where you're from and what time you're watching. That way, YouTube will keep showing you stories just like this one. What you're about to hear isn't folklore. It's not exaggerated. It's documented. There are medical records, birth certificates, testimony from doctors who examined these people and walked away shaken, unable to explain what they saw. This is the story of the Whittaker-Fugate line, a name I've changed to protect those still living, and what happened when human biology was pushed past every limit it was designed to withstand. This is what happens when isolation, religion, and shame become more powerful than survival itself. The family's collapse into itself began with a man named Samuel and a woman named Mary Ann. They were second cousins who married in 1841 in a valley so remote that the nearest town was a 2-day walk through mud and timber. No one thought much of it. Second cousins marrying wasn't unusual back then, especially in places where the gene pool was already shallow. The mountains kept people in. The outside world stayed out. And families did what families had always done: they married who was nearby. Samuel and Mary Ann had 9 children. 6 survived past age 5. And here's where the pattern starts. Of those 6 children, 4 of them married within the family. Not distant cousins, close ones. One son married his first cousin. A daughter married her mother's nephew. Another son married a girl whose grandmother was also his grandmother. The mathematics of it start to tangle immediately. The family tree stops looking like a tree and starts looking like a net, pulling tighter with every generation. By 1870, the second generation was fully grown, 12 adults. 8 of them married blood relatives. The ones who didn't marry into the family often didn't marry at all. There are records of sons and daughters who simply stayed home, living with their parents until they died in their 40s and 50s, childless and isolated. The few who tried to leave the valley came back within a year. Some say it was loyalty. Others say it was something darker, a fear that the outside world would see what they'd become. And what had they become? That's the question no one wanted to ask. Because by 1890, the third generation was showing signs. Not obvious ones, not the kinds of deformities that would make headlines, but small things. A higher rate of stillbirths. Children who walked late or talked late. A boy born with 6 fingers on his left hand. A girl whose eyes didn't track movement the way they should. The family didn't talk about it. The local doctor, when he visited once a year, wrote careful notes in his ledger and said nothing to anyone outside the county. But the truth was